Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining the Humane Society of Southern Wisconsin's foster family. This is the initial general orientation where we will introduce you to the foster coordinator and review basic information about the foster program, including what we provide, expectations, frequently asked questions, and contact information. Humane Society of Southern Wisconsin is a 501c3 nonprofit, meaning we are 100% donor-funded organization. We rely solely on the generosity of individuals, just like you, to provide comprehensive care for almost 3,000 animals that come through our door each year. Once you complete this orientation and complete other animal-specific orientations, you too will be a part of the HSSW family and help us achieve these goals. Hi everyone, I wanted to formally introduce myself. I'm Brittany and I'm the foster coordinator. As a foster, you will be primarily working with me. I've been working for HSSW since 2017. I originally started as an adoption counselor and have since been in other various positions for HSSW. I've always loved animals. Growing up, I had dogs, cats, and other small animals. Working here, I've grown to love pit bulls, TNR, SNR, advocating for spay and neuter, as well as the outdoor cat community. I also created our feline behavior program for HSSW, where we monitor the cat's behavior and continue to work one-on-one with them until they are adoptable. When I'm not at work, I'm a pretty big homebody. I love staying in with my husband and son and our 4 cats pictured on the slide and cooking up some new bakery items. Alright, moving on to the reason why you're really here. You may still be asking yourself, why foster? Well, foster is literally life-saving work. You get to take in animals that otherwise may not have a chance at success and help find loving homes for them. In turn, you also get to open up more space at the shelter for other animals to enter our care and get the chance at a new life. You'll also get to know the personality of your foster pets, become their advocate, and have lots of opportunity to grow and learn to help more animals. Plus, it's all temporary. Fostering is not a lifetime commitment, unlike adopting. You get to take them in for a bit and eventually they'll move on to their new home. Our go-to saying for fostering is goodbye is the goal. This allows you to open your home back up for more foster pets, or it can also give you a break from fostering if needed. We also provide everything you need, like supplies, a support network, medical care, and of course, the animals. So now I wanted to share one of the most memorable stories of a foster case. This is Fern Gully. She came to HSSW in November of 2018 as a seized case by the police. She was originally brought from a breeder who told the new owner she was diagnosed with mange and they had got a shot for it. She was very lethargic and on the verge of death when they had found her. The owner, not knowing what to do, treated her with a solution they found online made of borax, peroxide, and vinegar. This is definitely not recommended. When she arrived at HSSW, our veterinary team did a full evaluation, which ended in us finding she had demodectic mange, ear infections, corneal ulcer, a yeast infection, as well as ulcers on the skin, heart murmurs, heart disease, as well as multiple fecal parasites. She was immediately put on multiple medications and a treatment plan. She went into foster care 2 weeks after staying at HSSW and made wonderful progress and thrived in foster care. Eventually, she ended up being adopted in later January by staff. As you can see in the pictures, her fur has grown back. She is now living a wonderful life with her family. Fern Gully would not have had this chance if it weren't for HSSW's medical team and definitely our foster family opening up their home and providing her with such a wonderful care until she was adopted. So, what kind of pets need fostering? It's a little bit of everything, to be honest. We always need help with baby bottles, or better known as unweaned kittens, nursing mom and kittens, weaned kittens, as well as medical cases of both dogs and cats. We also send out behavioral cases, transport or low on space animals, hospice cases, unweaned and weaned puppies, and nursing mom and pups. Alright, so what supplies do we provide? In short, everything. HSSW provides all of the supplies you need for the foster pet's basic needs. If you decide to buy extra supplies to spoil your foster, that's wonderful, but please know these will be considered donations and we will not be able to reimburse you. Upon returning your foster to HSSW, please remember to return any supplies you were provided with. Listed on this slide is everything we provide for dogs and puppies as appropriate. So appropriate food, toys, leash and a collar, bowls, blankets, pee pads, mostly for puppies, and a dog crate if asked for. Similarly, for cats and kittens, we provide food, litter, litter box, and scoop if we have them, bowls, toys, blankets, and a scale. Again, mostly for kittens. So now that you know what we provide for our foster cases, in turn, you'll have to be well prepared to take on any foster case. To do so, make sure you add me on Facebook by searching for HSSW Brit on Facebook and then join our foster Facebook group called HSSW Fosters. You'll be expected to read through the foster manual as there are very important details not found anywhere else, as well as making your home pet friendly, have a foster space and plan ready. But please remember to ask any questions you have, and please be flexible and patient with the HSSW team. So what if you need refills on supplies? Well, it's very simple. Please let me know as soon as possible. The sooner the better. It can be very hectic sometimes, especially in our busy season, so you may not receive a response from me as quick as you'd like. If you don't receive a response, please call the shelter phone, and if they don't answer, please remember to leave a voicemail as to why you are calling and whom you're calling for. If it's for anything medical, please call the shelter and our medical department will help you. A quick disclaimer, and one that's incredibly important. Even with thorough medical screening and medical exams, some contagious conditions such as ringworm, URI, and certain parasites may not be detected prior to the start of a foster period. HSSW cannot guarantee the health of any foster animal, even if they go into foster care seemingly healthy. This is why it is highly recommended that you quarantine your foster animals from your personal pets for at least 10 days, and that your personal pets are up to date on all vaccinations. Please know if your personal pet were to contract anything from a foster pet, you are responsible for finding medical treatment for your animals. So I wanted to highlight a couple of foster tips. As previously stated, please keep your pets up to date on vaccinations. Please remember if you have any questions or concerns to let me know as soon as possible, and to remember to follow all protocols and guidelines. On a more serious note, as enjoyable as fostering can be, it can also be incredibly hard, and not every foster case will be a walk in the park. Some can be especially draining, and although it doesn't happen often, some foster pets will not survive. If this happens, please know you did everything you could and you gave the foster pet a warm, safe place where they were loved. And again, we, your HSSW family, are there if you need anything. A very important one, recognize your limits. It can be very easy to put yourself second in the foster world, but for you as a foster parent to be successful, that requires you to be present and in the right mindset. If you are burnt out, take a break. It's okay. In the animal world, breaks happen and are encouraged. To end on a higher note, remember to enjoy being a foster parent. Fostering is a rewarding experience, and after all, you are giving so many animals a chance at a new life. You may be wondering what our expectations are for you as a foster of HSSW. First and foremost, please be patient with us. Especially in our summer months, we average around 200 animals in the foster program, which is a lot for one person to handle. Despite our best efforts, things will be missed or slip through the cracks. If this is the case, please contact me again if I or another staff member do not respond within 48 hours, or just by the time we say we will. We also need you to communicate clearly and efficiently with us. Email or a message on Facebook is the easiest point of contact. During an emergency, you can call the after hours on call phone, but only during an emergency. If you are not able to respond within a reasonable amount of time, even after multiple attempts and reminders, you will be removed from the HSSW foster program. Along with communication, you will be a huge part in us finding out more about the foster animal's personality. Before the animal goes up for adoption, whether it's in your care or at our facility, you will be responsible for filling out a personality profile, which in turn helps our adoptions team find the best fit family for your foster pet. Another expectation is being on time to any scheduled appointment. Being on time allows us to make everyone's visit as efficient as possible, since we see a lot of fosters, adopters, and members of the public each day. This includes adoption meets, surgery drop-offs, vaccination appointments, medical checkups, foster pickups, and drop-offs. If you are late, your appointment will run into someone else's appointment, and just like being stuck at the doctor's office, everyone will wind up waiting around for our team to be available. It's just no fun. Of course, things come up and you may not be able to make it in time or at all, and that's okay. But please let me know as soon as you know. That way we can give everyone a heads up or reschedule if necessary. If you are late repeatedly with no warning, or if you simply don't show up to your appointment, we will be forced to remove you from the foster program. Finally, it is expected that you adhere to the foster agreements that you have already read over during the foster application process. We know that was a lot to get through, but don't worry, we'll be here to support you every step of the way. Now that you know what the expectations are for you as a foster, you may be wondering what you can expect from us. You can expect a support network from myself as well as other staff members and our amazing HSSW fosters. Although HSSW team loves animals, we especially love helping our amazing foster team by answering any questions you may have or just for any support you may need along the way. You can expect all basic care and medical supplies to be provided, as well as instructions for care and medical care as needed. You can also expect during our busy season for the response time to be anywhere from 24 to 48 hours. Please, please, please remember to be patient with us. If you do not receive a response, please follow up again by email, message, or by calling the shelter and leaving a voicemail. If it's an emergency during business hours, please call the shelter immediately. If you do not receive a response, please come to the shelter right away. If it's after business hours, please call the on-call phone for any emergencies. Now, if you're anything like me, you probably like to know what to expect before coming into your appointment. So let me walk you through the process step by step. For all medical and vaccine appointments, you'll come to the front doors. You will usually be greeted by our adoption staff, who will then alert our medical department that a foster is here, and they will be out shortly to get your foster pet. During this time, please remember to express any concerns you may be having with your foster pet that they may not already be aware of. They'll bring them to our med room while you wait in our lobby. Now, a typical vaccine appointment will take anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes depending on how many animals were brought in and what all they need. Medical appointments usually require a bit more hands-on approach from our team and a CVT or a vet. Because of this, it may take anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour. This is a good time to remember patience. Remember, not all appointments go as planned and some may take longer than usual. If you need a time frame, just ask for an estimate and we'd be more than happy to give that to you. Let's talk surgery appointments. So I'll usually reach out to you a week to 2 weeks in advance. During scheduling, it is discussed whether you'll be taking them back for adoption purposes or if they'll be staying here at the shelter. Usually they will stay at our shelter to be adopted out, unless we are full with no space. For these appointments, you'll drop off at 8 a.m. at our front door, where either adoption staff or a surgery tech will take the animal from you. Please be patient if no one is there right away when you arrive. You most likely aren't the only surgery appointment of the day. If you are leaving the animal to stay at the shelter for adoption, please bring your supplies with you, as well as filling out a personality profile. If you are picking the animal up from surgery, pickup time is usually anywhere from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., unless on a Wednesday where it is from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Just let the adoption staff know who you are and who you are picking up from surgery. They will then bring the animal to you with surgery aftercare instructions, as well as any medications. If they do not give you the surgery aftercare instructions, please remember to ask. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate. For picking up foster animals that are going into your home, I will usually arrange the pickup date and time with you. Although if I am not here, it may be a member of adoption staff or animal services. You'll arrive at the scheduled pickup time at the front doors. If the front door is locked, please ring the doorbell and someone will be there to get you shortly. Myself or another staff member will go over supplies, medications, any protocols, and who's who if you're picking up a litter. Usually at this appointment, we will schedule a checkup for 1 to 2 weeks. If you have any questions, this is a great time to ask, but you can always email or message me if you forget. You will then be sent on your way with your new foster animals. I'll usually check in with you 24 to 48 hours just to make sure everything is going well with everyone. Following that, I'll do weekly check-ins, but of course, if you have any concerns or just want to give an update, definitely do so. Now it's time for dropping off your foster animals. It's a similar process, but reversed. I'll schedule a drop-off time and date with you. You'll arrive at the appointed time at the front doors with your supplies and foster pet. Adoption or surgery staff will assist you with these. Please make sure your fosters are safely secured in a carrier or on a leash. So now it's on to the exciting part, adoption. If you decide to foster available animals or soon to be available animals, this process is for you. It's pretty straightforward. All right, so let's talk about your animal going up for adoption. So once the pet is made available, they will be available on our website with photos, a personality memo, and on the photo will be a sticker labeled, "I'm in a foster home." Adopters can apply online or in person. Adoption meets are at our shelter coordinated with adoption staff. Usually when they're at our shelter, adoption meets do not typically involve the foster unless asked by adoption staff. Of course, as the foster, you may know someone personally that would like to adopt, and that's great, but please remember to make adoption staff aware by calling the shelter and asking to speak with adoption staff. Adoption staff will need to go over fees, who all needs to meet, and will need to know more about the potential adopter's household members and pets in order to move forward in the adoption process. If they decide to adopt and then the transfer of care is coordinated at the shelter, you'll be required to bring the animal to the shelter during the appointed time and adoption staff will take over from there. Congratulations, your foster has now been adopted. Although it's not easy to say goodbye, remember goodbye is the goal. Now you may be wondering at this point, what happens if I want to adopt my own foster? Well, you definitely can. This process is commonly known as a foster failure, which isn't of course an actual failure, but rather just a cheeky name that caught on in shelter and rescue. If you want to adopt your foster pet, you just need to let me know as soon as possible. I cannot stress that enough. Please let me know as soon as you are sure you want to adopt. Once we know, a hold will be put in your profile so they won't go back up for adoption. This needs to be decided before you drop your animal off for surgery or prior to us making them available. After that, they'll be made available for adoption, and at that point, you will only be able to adopt your foster pet on a first-come, first-served basis, just like everyone else. Once you've decided you want to adopt, a member of the adoption department will reach out to you shortly after to make sure you are ready to adopt, go over fees, and make sure everyone in the household is comfortable with adopting. Regardless of when you decide to adopt, you will still be required to pay any adoption fees and/or licensing fees, as it helps cover the animal's cost for care of each pet. Bear with me, I know this looks like a lot, I know, trust me, but this is our foster agreement, and it should look familiar to you as you've previously seen this in your application process. Please make sure you understand each point in this agreement, and if this agreement is broken, you can and will be released from the HSSW foster program. There are a few points I want to make sure you understand. To start, number 5. You understand that HSSW holds ownership over all foster animals and that you are not allowed to release any animal from foster care for any reason, except to HSSW. Please also note number 6 and 9. If a medical emergency arises, you agree to contact HSSW for medical attention. You understand that HSSW will not reimburse you or pay you for any medical expenses if you seek veterinary care without HSSW's approval. You also understand that HSSW will not be responsible for your pets contracting diseases or injury from foster animals. And just a quick couple of other ones are number 10 through 12. You understand your pet's family and any other visitors may be at risk of contracting diseases or injury from foster animals. HSSW is not responsible for any medical treatment of foster pets, family members, or fosters if they become ill or are injured as a result of participation in the foster program. HSSW is also not responsible for any property damage by a foster animal. A very important one, foster cats are not allowed outside. You agree you will not allow foster dogs outside without a leash, unless in a yard with a fence of adequate height and security. You must supervise them at all times. You also agree you will not take your foster dog to any dog park. This is the basics of what the emergency protocol looks like. I'm not going to go into too much detail as you should have received the more thorough version in your foster manual. If you have not received this yet, please let me know and I will send this to you immediately. Please read through the emergency protocols thoroughly once you receive the document, so if and when an emergency arises, you know exactly what to do. If you're going on vacation or going out of town, you just need to let me know as soon as possible so I can find proper housing and care can be arranged for your animal. Now I'm going to answer some commonly asked questions. If you find you have any questions after this orientation, please email me and I'd be happy to continue this conversation with you. So let's answer some of the most commonly asked questions. Starting off, how long do I need to foster for? The length of time needed for fostering can vary entirely based on your availability, so just let me know. Most commonly, the period for fostering an animal is 2 to 6 weeks, but it could be more or less. It all just really depends on the animal. Or if you can only foster for a weekend at a time, let me know. I can find something for you. We really appreciate our short-term fosters who foster baby bottles for the weekend, or a dog that just needs a break from the shelter. Secondly, do I need to keep my foster animals separate from my personal pets? As stated previously, it is highly recommended you quarantine your foster pets for at least 10 days, as we cannot guarantee their health. If your foster pet cannot intermingle at all, we will let you know before you decide to take them into your home. If you wish to introduce your own pets to your foster pet, please let me know ahead of time so I can give you the appropriate steps to do so. Another question is, do I need to take photos or videos of my foster? Although it is helpful, it's not necessary, and if you aren't able to take videos or pictures, that's totally fine. Do I have to train my foster animal? Kind of like the previous question, although it is helpful, it's not necessary. We do love when fosters are able to teach their foster dogs basic commands as well as leash training. If you're really determined, potty training is a definite. If you are fostering cats, socialization is key and for their adoptability, and is highly encouraged to continue to work on that, no matter how social they are. If you are fostering kittens, socialization is an absolute must, as you are literally shaping their personality to be flexible in various situations and also teaching them not to be scared around new people. So what do I do if my foster runs away or goes missing? During business hours, please call the shelter phone immediately. If during after hours, call the on-call phone so we can help you find the lost animal and give you any tools you may need to do so. These are just some of the most commonly asked questions, but again, if you do have any questions, please email me and I'd be more than happy to help you. Here's how to reach us and who to contact regarding various elements of your foster experience, as well as the times and days we are available. If you have any questions in regards to this orientation, please email me. Now it's the fun part, deciding what you'd like to foster. So you don't have to foster everything, but by all means, if you want to, I definitely won't stop you. To give you an idea of what you'll be anticipating in each case, I'll break down the length of stay as well as level of care. Unweaned kittens and pups are usually anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks, and you'll be required to do feedings around the clock. Weaned kittens and pups are anywhere from 1 to 4 weeks and are usually able to eat on their own, but will definitely still require some help from you. Nursing mom and kittens and pups can be anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. In these cases, mom usually does all the work, but you'll still need to do some supervising and assistance if needed. Medical cases are anywhere from 2 weeks to 3 months. You'll be required to administer medications, follow exact care guides for these animals. These animals also often require more medical visits than usual. Behavior cases are anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months. You'll be required to follow socialization protocols and a lot of patience on your end, but these ones are definitely worth it. Happy Home and Safe Home program is usually up to 90 days of care. This program helps survivors of domestic violence secure a safe place for their pets to be while they get in a better situation for both themselves and their pets. This always requires fosters to not post these animals, and if dogs, go to public places to help protect the owner and their privacy. Our Fearless Foster program is for our smaller animals that we receive either as strays or as surrenders. These cases are until they are adopted, usually anywhere from 1 week to 2 months.